This is the beginning of something huge for the Boston Celtics as they continue to rise above the rest in the East. And with a new power ranking out, guess what? The Celtics are right back where they should be. We've got to talk about that, plus an injury update for tomorrow evening's game, all right here on Celtics Digest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning in to today's show. Got much to discuss about a couple of cool reports, and of course the injury report that just came out. Before that, though, we're closing in on 8,000 subscribers. I would love to hit that mark by the end of the week. We're 110 subscribers away. I know there are 100 of you watching right now that have been watching for a bit, thinking about subscribing. Well, today is the day, my friend. We're putting out free daily content on the Boston Celtics. And the best part about it, you're always going to be in the know about everything C's basketball. Now, and speaking of C's basketball, we've got some really cool things to talk about today. And we all know the Boston Celtics have been playing at an elite level and in a lot of facets have been one of the best teams in the NBA over the past, let's say, 2 or 3 weeks from now. But with all this to be said, is it a fugazi, or is this actually a team that can go out there and win? Well, looking at their schedule, it seems like this team is actually in it. They've beaten the Raptors, they've beaten the Lakers, they've beaten the Knicks, they've beaten the Cavs, and they took down the Pistons, which at the time they were on a 13-game win streak. Now, with the 6th easiest schedule remaining in the NBA, it seems like they're on pace to actually have a very good season. Now, you would think, okay, well, that's just wins. Like, they're winning close games, they're doing the right things, that's all great and all, but does it really mean, actual results? Well, that's where you go to the season stats and look and see that this is very much a team that could win at the high level because of the stats they are able to put up. Now, as we see here, this is kind of crazy when they're only turning the ball over less than 12 times a game. That's first in the NBA. Their blocks per game, 5.5. That's 6th in the NBA. Their three-point percentage, 8th in the NBA at 36.9%. They are playing very well at home at 8-4. Obviously, their last 10 has been fantastic. And again, they have a relatively easy strength of schedule remaining. Their steals are pretty good. Overall, this all looks like the Celtics are not just a team of mystic wins. They're actually good. And they're starting to get recognition from a bunch of people. In fact, we have a pretty cool article that just came out from CBS Sports talking about the latest power rankings. And guess what? The Celtics have soared all the way up to the number 2 power ranking in all of the NBA. They've been very good against good teams, and they're finally getting recognized for it, which, as you would expect, comes with, some expectations. And for Jayson Tatum down the line, are the Celtics going to try and bring him back? Now, obviously, I'm going to tell you everything they kind of said, but it is kind of crazy when you look at this and see that the Boston Celtics were the highest risers in CBS's power rankings this week. They went up 7 spots after being at the number 9 slot, all the way up here to the number 2 slot. Now, what's funny is this entire article was really talking about the Boston Celtics, and I kind of want to go through what CBS Sports said about Boston. So here's Brad Botkin saying, quote, "The Boston Celtics are on an absolute tear behind an offense that has remained elite in the absence of Jayson Tatum. They've won 10 of their last 12 games, and this isn't a soft schedule sort of run. Boston is taking out some of the league's best teams one after another." And it begs the question once again, are the Celtics able to continue this? Is this something that they can keep going? And I'd argue yes, because of the play of certain players. Specifically, you have to look at guys like Jaylen Brown. He's obviously someone that people didn't know if he could be the one. People really expected, or at least some people, not me, thought he would go out this season and he was not going to look as good as Jayson Tatum has, or not going to look like a true number 1 in the NBA. He's done every bit of that and more. He's in the 99th percentile in points per game, ranking 6th in all of the NBA, 88th percentile in rebounds, 90th percentile in assists, and 94th percentile in minutes. His field goal percentage, pretty high percentile, 67, and he steals the ball at least once a game. That ranks him in the 64th or at the 83rd percentile in all of the NBA. JB is doing exactly what the Celtics have asked him to, and it's him plus some other guys who have been really pushing the Celtics team to the next level. Now, obviously, we can't sit here and say that this rise to, goodness, hasn't been because of certain names like Jordan Walsh. He's been legitimately an X factor for the Boston Celtics this year. and has maybe changed the way his game has been looked at. 20 minutes per game, 7 points per game, along with a 4.8 rebounds per game. He's in the green in a lot of statistical standpoints, and it really shows that, or rather proves, Brad Stevens is by far one of the best GMs in the NBA, and I would argue, and I think most Celtics fans would agree, he is the second best or first best GM in the NBA. In terms of recognizing talent, I'd argue he's number one. Obviously, Sam Presti is doing some amazing things in the Oklahoma City area. That's fantastic, but the drafts he's had, the prospects he's drafted, the guys he's signed or traded for has been fantastic. Walsh has been really, really, really good. He's in the upper percentile in field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, turnover ratio, steals, blocks, and rebounds, along with playing at over 20 minutes per game because of, obviously, injuries and expectations to the rest of this roster. And so you really think about this team, and what CBS says is reigning true. They're having some recognizable guys step up. They're also having some unrecognizable guys step up in names like Jordan Walsh. Continuing on here with CBS Sports, Brad Bodkin says that, speaking of the Celtics, they are the only team to beat the Knicks over the past 2 weeks, and change. As a result, New York has quietly risen to the latest Power Rankings installment, though it should be noted that their recent schedule has been pretty weak. When you look at the Knicks, it's not looking too good for them. But obviously for the Boston Celtics, there's a lot of amazing and impressive stats when you think about what they've been able to do. Brad Bodkin again saying, quote, "The offense is humming behind a league-leading 16 3-points per game and absolutely incredible mid-range campaigns from Jaylen Brown and Peyton Pritchard. Throw Derrick White's shot coming around, a couple of hidden gems in Neemias Queta and Jordan Walsh, and you've got yourself a very good team." Now, they also have the lowest turnover rate in the league and a defense that forces you into a 3-point shooting contest by prioritizing paint and rim protection, and Boston is making up for the absence of its superstar in the aggregate. This is obviously a big thing, and something that might be lost in the weeds is the defense of the people down low. One guy to look at is, of course, the Boston Celtics center, who people really did look at and say, I don't know if he's got it, but overall, I love the play that we've seen from Neemias Queta. I do believe he is one of the better defensive centers in the NBA. His true shooting percentage is good. His field goal percentage is good. He ranks 20th in the NBA in blocks per game. Overall, he has been every bit of what the Boston Celtics have asked him to be. Now, with all this to be said, the Boston Celtics are looking into the center market here on the trade deadline. Ivica Zubac is obviously a guy the Celtics are really intrigued in, and if the Clippers decide to move on from him, that would be somebody they'd really like to do. Now, there is some caveats to this trade that we could talk about, but overall, it's something to kind of break down. Now, one final thing I do want to break down here today on the show is the injury report for tomorrow's game for the Boston Celtics against the Milwaukee Bucks. Noah Dazelle has the report here. Chris Boucher, he is out with an illness, non-COVID, obviously, and then a couple of guys on two-way contracts, Ron Harper Jr., and then Amari Williams, not on a two-way contract, but playing down in Maine, playing very well, might I add, a right-hand hairline fracture. He is out and could be out for a little bit. And then, I don't know if this is your opinion, but I was talking with my guy Patrick, also on the channel. Can we take Jayson Tatum's name off of the injury report? We don't need. We know he's out. We know his Achilles is gone, or at least repairing. We can stop putting him on the injury report. We don't have to see that and be like, oh, look at that. But hey, it might be an elite level surprise if one day he's just not on the injury report. I think I'd like that very, very much. Now, very excited for the upcoming schedule for the Boston Celtics. Obviously, this is something to expect. But with Chris Boucher, he's had a little bit of a tough go of it. In fact, he's only appeared in 8 games this season, and he hasn't appeared in a game since November 23rd. So it's not what you like for an offseason signing, but Joe Mazzulla did talk about this and kind of mentioned that he's doing what you can expect him to do. It obviously hasn't been going the way that he would have anticipated, but I think along the way, he's been a great teammate. He cares about winning more than anything else, and that's obviously a very good thing. And for the Boston Celtics, they've been winning. They've been doing exactly what they need to do. 15-9, right now 3rd in the Eastern Conference behind the Knicks and the Pistons, who they have both beaten in recent games. So, I don't know, with Jayson Tatum and the potential of him coming back later on in the season, I like the Celtics' chances to actually make this season a lot better than maybe some people expected. We appreciate you watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And hey, obviously you noticed the new graphics, the new system. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section. What can we add? What can we make it better? / Do you think it looks nice with all the new statistics? I'm curious for your 2 cents. But for now, we do appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.